Hello now, Pepsi is our word for today. Now there's a recent, well, not recent, recent and ancient anomaly in the Philippines, and I want to take a peek at it. So to start off this unsolved mystery topic, let me just show you the reason on why I wanted to make this video. Now there's this filmmaker by the name of Daryll that decided to blatantly accuse one of Philippines' most famous TV personalities, Vic Soto, of this word. And let me just show you the catalyst on how one stupid move sets off this septic tank kaboom. Now if you are watching this and you don't know any of these dudes, don't worry, all you have to focus on is the blatant defamation claim made on this clip.
Ipaliwanag mo sa akin! Magsabi ka sa akin! Ipaliwanag mo dahil hindi ko naiintindihan! Pepsi, sumagot ka! Hindi ka ba ni Vic Soto? Ah!
Boom! Now, did any of you smell the aroma of an incoming lawsuit surrounding that teaser? Well, I know I did. So what you just witnessed is the teaser to Daryll Yap's upcoming movie called The Rapes to Pepsi Paloma. And as you can see, he name drops Vic Soto's name, who is considered to be a legend in the Philippines showbiz industry. Allegedly. I don't know. I'm not a fan of him. Now, name dropping a very powerful man, accusing him of this word, I mean, you have to be out of your mind to do that. Especially with the case of sexual abuse. I mean, you don't joke about that. And without evidence, that is just plain stupid. And sure enough, the filmmaker Daryll got sued for 35 million pesos, or just close to $600,000. So to better understand the power scaling of the two, so it's comparable to like a tiger versus Bill Gates. Like, yeah, Bill Gates is an absolute old man, but he has the money, the cabbages. While the tiger, yeah, the tiger is feisty and bold, but it doesn't have any money. It's broke as hell. So Bill Gates have the upper hand because he has the power of being an employer. So he can employ a bunch of shit to get rid of the tiger. And that's how I see this unexquisite case. Now that got me thinking. Now why would Vic Soto go this hard on this filmmaker? Well, yeah, I mean, obviously because he accused him of something that isn't proven yet, but what else? And who is this Pepsi Paloma? So now let's take a deep dive on who Pepsi Paloma is and her infamous rape case against the three comedians Vic Soto, Joey De Leon, and Richie D. Horsey or Ricardo Reyes. Because this case, I think, will haunt these men and their families for as long as they live. Well, I guess two of those men, because one of those men, Ricardo Reyes, jumped off the planet last 2015, and so rest in peace to him. So let's dive in this septic tank together in 3, 2, 1. So Pepsi Paloma was born on March 11, 1966 in Manila, Philippines. Her real name is Delia Dueñas Smith and was the eldest of 4 offsprings. And all 4 were raised by their single mother, Lida Dueñas, because when they were young, their father Kenneth Smith, an American letter carrier, went to go get some milk from the store and never came back, aka he abandoned them. And in 1980, she met Tita Esther, who then introduced her to Ray de la Cruz, a talent scout who is known for being responsible for the successful careers of Rio Locsin and Myrna Castillo. Now, I may not know who they were because I wasn't even a sperm at that time, but I've read some pretty good things about them on how being a bold star or a sexy star back in the day is huge. Now what happened to Pepsi is wild because what earned her her fame is going nude, buck naked, bare cheeks, on a film called Brown Emanuel in 1982. Now going nude in movies isn't anything new. That's what got actresses like Sydney Sweeney or Dakota Johnson their fame before Madam Web, because we all know they got even more famous from Madam Web, let's be real here. Now all sarcasm aside, being nude in movies is one way to blast off your career as an actress, and Pepsi or Delia get into that trend. But here's a twist. She did it when she was still 14 years old. Oh my lord, if that's not a major red flag from the producers and directors, I don't know what is. Now please don't try and look it up because at this point it might as well be considered as child pee instead of a movie. Like, disgusting. So she got manipulated as young as 14 years old. And if you're one of those people who justifies this kind of shit, like, oh, she wasn't manipulated, she agreed to do that. And here I am with my puffed out chest saying that you are disgusting, because I couldn't think of any defense on how she was not exploited in this. I mean, yeah, sure, she got attention there, but making her show her bare cheeks at 14 is foul. And that actually sets the tone on what comes next. Now, during that time, Pepsi's first stage name was Scarlet, but that name didn't really click to the masses. So Ray De La Cruz scrambled his wrinkly brain and thought of a different idea. So why not put famous soda brands and sexy stars together? And thus, the Softdrink Beauties was born. It consists of one lady per famous soda brand, and their names were Coca Nicholas, Pepsi Paloma, Sarcy Emmanuel, and Myra Manibog. So basically a play on words on the soda brands. So Coca Nicholas is for Coca-Cola, Sarcy Emmanuel is for Sarcy, and Myra Manibog is for Mirinda, and Pepsi Paloma is of course for Pepsi Cola. Ray De La Cruz was right on the money, because after that, the careers of those four ladies blasted off like Team Rocket. And that landed Pepsi Paloma some fat dubskis, and appeared in a number of projects like Virgin People, Cruz sa Bawat Punglo, and The Victim. But the most controversial gig that she got was guest appearing at a comedy show called School Bukol, starring the main man, Vic Soto, and his friend Joey De Leon and Richie D. Horsey, or Ricardo Reyes, with her co-star Guada Guerin, I don't know if I butchered that name. Because after that gig happened, the septic tank exploded and all shit broke loose. Because after the shooting of that show, Pepsi suddenly alleged that the three men drugged her, ripped their blouse open, and took turns smooching her, with Richie being the one that pinned her down, Joey De Leon was the photographer, and Vic Soto was the one going down on her, as Pepsi alleges. So Pepsi described a very horrendous scene with the crosshairs that was aimed directly at the three men's heads. But it's not that easy, because to prosecute a crime in the Philippines, you cannot just say you've been R-worded and all is well. You have to hire a private prosecutor and of course substantial evidence, or else your case will be dismissed for lack of prosecution. So Pepsi asked for the help of Defense Secretary Juan Ponce Enrile, who is still alive till this day, my goodness. So who then referred her to his senior partner, attorney Rene Cayetano, the father of Pia Cayetano and Alan Peter Cayetano. Now, one of the accused, Vic Soto, has a brother named Tito Soto, who allegedly went to see Pepsi Paloma while she was still talking to attorney Cayetano, and it was allegedly stated that Tito allegedly forced Pepsi into signing an affidavit of desistance to drop the rape complaint against his brother and his friends. And this happened in 1982 during martial law, and the Sotos were said to be favored by the Marcos dictatorship according to an archived article on Inquirer.net, and Pepsi eventually dropped the charges, but that came with a lot of confusion and controversies, because some people thought that some things just doesn't add up. Like, how would the affidavit be legal? Because she was 14 at that time, and that was allegedly without the presence of her lawyer. So, what happened? How did he get her to sign that shit? Because how was she forced? Because for some unknown reason, somehow, that goofy hooligan Tito Soto actually got Pepsi Paloma's signature. The bro must have done something to get that shit from a 14-year-old. So in November 3, 2012, in the Philippine Daily Inquirer, a journalist named Rina Jimenez David alleged the following. Paloma eventually dropped the charges after she was allegedly visited by one of the trio, who said he had only talked with her, but only after placing a pistol on the table in front of her. So there you have it. Allegedly, Tito Soto went to Pepsi Paloma and her family to talk about the case, then placed the pistol on a table. Allegedly. A classic scare tactics that existed as far back as the age of dinosaurs. Like, that shit is as old as dirt. If that was true, it's quite sad that they got scared into signing that affidavit. I mean, who wouldn't be scared in the face of death? Which unfortunately Pepsi and her family were allegedly threatened by. Now, okay, you may be thinking, why? Why would they go through such lengths to get her signature? Well, because if they didn't, they will be the one who will stare down death in a very comfy couch called the electric chair. That's right, if those three got convicted of the rape charge, the three comedians will face the death penalty. And they knew that because a similar case has already transpired in 1967, where the four assailants of a movie star named Maggie de la Riva got convicted of the rape charge, and the 3 out of 4 men were executed in 1972 on live TV. I mean, damn, the old days were not messing around. Like, talk about humiliation. That's like IRL Mortal Kombat Fatality live on Twitch. So, why only 3? Is the 4th one innocent? Well, no. The 4th one didn't meet the same fate because he went to the pearly gates earlier than those 3, because he was cactus even before that MK fatality. So that's how he avoided the similar fate. And I'll consider that lucky because he didn't get humiliated live at the very least. So back to how was Pepsi forced into signing that affidavit even though she was still 14. So in the end, according to my research, it was Pepsi's mom who signed that affidavit of resistance, making it a legal document because it was signed by a consenting adult in their right mind, and thus no criminal charges were filed against the 3 comedians. And also, it was alleged that they went down on their knees on their show Eat Bulaga and asked for forgiveness from Pepsi Paloma for R-wording her when she was only 14. Now, whether or not that happened, we will never know because I couldn't find anything about that. But there's still a possibility of that happening because martial law was ongoing on those times, so records of that could have just been wiped from existence. Now fast forward a bit, a few months passed by and Pepsi reportedly left her manager to be with her boyfriend, Roy Rustan, who lived in a different city, Makati. And Pepsi allegedly had an abortion and became addicted to drugs during her time with her man Roy. And then in 1983, she decided enough. I want to go back to the spotlight and return to her manager Ray de la Cruz. And it was reportedly that Pepsi is so thin and frail that she had to be confined to a private clinic. And it's a good thing that she recovered from that because in that same year, she starred on a blockbuster movie called The Victim, where it's uncoincidentally about a girl that was an R-word victim. Wow, a highly likely R-word victim being manipulated to star on a movie that's about a girl that's gonna be an R-word victim. A real big brain moment by the producer there. That's like batshit insane. Those people are sick in the head. That's S-tier exploitation. God damn. But they said no worries, Pepsi did agree to that even though she was only like 16 at that time. Oh my god, that's actually crazy to say out loud. And she appeared in a couple of different films as well after a year, like The Virgin People and The Naked Island, both released in 1984. So undoubtedly, it looks like Pepsi Paloma is making a comeback. She's ready to take on the world again, right? Wrong, because after the year 1984, it all went downhill from there. Like, all the way down. I'm talking about 6 feet underground. Because 6 p.m. May 31, 1985, a sight that no one wants to see blasted her boyfriend's face. Because that's when they discovered Pepsi Paloma's unalived body, with a 3-inch makeshift rope around her neck. A very tragic ending for a rising star like Pepsi. Now, shortly after her tragic demise, a report was published about her diary and shed some insight on what was Pepsi thinking during that time. And take note that the entries that was included was from April 26 to May 18, 1985. And the first thing she wrote was, "I love ya, Miss Pepsi Paloma, love always." Followed by 3 pages containing a list of expenses that amounted to 9,750 pesos, with a side note that she wrote in all caps, "Make it less," implying that she needed to cut down that total in some way. So nowadays, 9,750 pesos isn't all that big because today, that's just well over half of the minimum wage here in the Philippines. But back in the day, that is big. It's so big in fact that 1 peso back in the day is equivalent to $1. Like for example, 20 pesos back then as a student can last you about a day worth of expenses like transportation, food, and some other stuff. But today, 20 pesos can barely get you a kilogram of rice, let alone a cone of ice cream. So they are leaning towards the financial struggle and the depression angle on why Pepsi Paloma did what she did. Because she also ranted in her said diary, and I'm gonna read you the English translation of what she said. So she said that, "I'm not getting that much movies, too many expenses. I'm the only one spending money in the house, even the tuition fees of my siblings, and I don't even know if my mother is treating me like her own daughter. So they made it seem that she is an emotional wreck before her end, but that angle was immediately disputed by her other manager Babeth Coquera that stated she was earning well and she was fully booked for dancing performances. She just finished the Pepsi Paloma show at the Bughao and 10 other beer houses. And she also had 3 film offers lined up, namely Dormitory Girls, Savage Girls, and May Batas sa Daigdig. And Coquera also added that it just did not add up. She was looking forward to celebrating her 18th birthday next year, and she made me promise to throw a big party for her at a hotel because soon it would be her debut. So for those of you who don't know what debut means in the Philippines, it's a traditional Filipino celebration of a young woman turning 18. Now on top of that pile of doubt, it was reported that there wasn't even a forensic investigation to make sure that the diary was in fact hers. So I guess the Trust Me Bro website existed in ancient times as well. I mean, not that ancient, but I wonder if the ancient Egypt, the pharaohs, used the Trust Me Bro website as well. However, they did uncover Pepsi's state of mind during those times because according to her co-star Sarcy Emanuel, that Pepsi did try to unalive herself weeks before her demise. And also in 1982, while the R-word case was ongoing, there were reportedly several attempts made by Pepsi to unalive herself, but thankfully her manager Ray and other dude named Hill was there to stop her. So clearly Pepsi is a very vulnerable individual, and even if the case wasn't true, it was clear as day that she got exploited when she was still very young. Like the dark side of the entertainment industry was apparently darker back then. Or I don't know, maybe it's just as dark as now as it was before. And that story got so big in fact that it got stuck in the minds and hearts of the Filipino people for decades. Now a decade later, Ray De La Cruz, Pepsi's manager, got a bullet to the head outside his elementary clinic, and no one knows why. And the ruckus about Pepsi's case died for a while after that. But then in 1997, more than a decade has passed since the infamous case happened, and 5 years after Ray the manager jumped off the planet, a famous band in the Philippines called Eraserheads released this song called SPOLARUIM and added more fuel to the fire because it contained the lyrics of, now again I'm gonna read the English translation of this, and we still don't know why we're here. Please stop the turning of the world. The morning cried, what did Enteng and Joey write on the door mirror? I couldn't read it because someone erased it. Now even without context, you can kind of piece together in your noodle on what the lyrics are heavily implying. Now if it wasn't clear to some of you, the lyrics are implying that the case of Pepsi was swept under the rug, and the people interpreted the golden mirror as the criminal records and someone erased it. Now the lyrics allegedly named the 2 out of the 3 men that were accused, Enteng and Joey. Now Enteng is allegedly for Vic Soto that derived from his famous movies called Enteng Kabisote, and Joey allegedly is for Joey De Leon. And the people interpreted the song as a homage to the infamous case of Pepsi, though the band clarified that it's just a coincidence, but people think otherwise, like what are they smoking, right? And that blew it up big. Up until the recent being 2021, it's still being brought up, along with this legendary meme where the people are requesting him to play the song that implies his R-word case, the SPOLARUIM song, while they were live streaming with his wife, and his wife crashing out on that troll after. And then again, the case went viral and the people went bonkers saying, SPOLARUIM song, Pepsi Palomas Case. It's like P. Diddy and baby oil in the people's mind, like they automatically coexist together. And now fast forward to today, the humongosaurus age gap of Vic Soto, one of the accused men, and his wife isn't really helping his case. And I'm talking about Leonardo DiCaprio level age gap, like I'm only into 19-year-old girls kind of mindset, because his wife is literally half his age. Like look at this shit, bro. This is the photo of Vic Soto and his wife, with his wife being a contestant on the Little Miss Philippines on their show back in 1995. Like, dang! And this is kind of similar to a kid's birthday party in the Philippines where like you're just a kid and you're invited to go in the front and stand in this chair, and the host clown tasks you to make the longest happy birthday greeting that you can do. And you go like, happy birthday to you, and them counting down like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then after like 5 seconds you get your prize. And then imagine that host clown being your husband. And looking at their age gap alone can set off alarm bells into people's minds, because people are like going to think that the case is most likely true, because clearly he is into girls that are much younger than him. And moments on TV like this one where he is playfully I don't know what the fuck am I looking at. I don't know if he is flirting with his co-host Pia Guanyo, and I don't know if they have a relationship at that time when that thing happened. I think they are.
Happy birthday.
Pare!
Pare.
Hindi ko sinabing gahasain mo yung babae.
What did he say?
Hindi ko sinabing gahasain mo yung babae.
But man, when you look at their age gap of 20 years, I can't help but see a creepy old man looming over a significantly younger girl than him. It creeps the hell out of me. And like the common cold, his case is not going away anytime soon, because it's still being brought up till this day. And like what I showed you in the beginning of this video, that the wannabe Batman film director blatantly accused creepy old Vic of R-wording Pepsi, which is a very lunatic move. And as much as I like to side with him on this, that move he did of making a movie about that case and claiming stuff without evidence is batshit crazy. And also extremely stupid, saying that without evidence, and surely enough, he got sued by creepy old Vic. And Vic Soto filed 19 counts of cyber libel against Daryll Yap on January 9, citing malicious and defamatory statements, which is true. It's just trust me bro statements in that film teaser. Now he is seeking 35 million pesos in damages. Now everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and just claiming it in your film ain't gonna work. And I bet Daryll knows a lawsuit is coming once that teaser dropped, which is very interesting because there's got to be something in his sleeve. Because I refuse to believe that he is that ultra mega stupid to release that shit without any backup. Because if he did and he just released that when he was like brain dead or something, like without thinking, then nothing. He just lost 35 million just to gain a little bit of clout. Like if he did in fact didn't think this true, like he didn't think that he'll get sued, I will dub the SS tier dickhead of the year, SS being super stupid. And it was said that the two faced off in court recently. So yeah, that's all you need to know about Pepsi and her case. And so if you want to watch just the docu-commentary, please go to this timestamp. So I don't know what will happen to this case, let's just wait and see. So maybe this case will open up an investigation to what actually happened to Pepsi, or whether those men are actually guilty. We'll never know. Or maybe we will. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Bye.